Hey man, so I want to talk to you about some BS, some belief systems around anxiety and depression. And this is from a post that a friend of mine shared from an author that has a new book coming out. And the author, just so you guys know, I want to cite my sources, is Mary Catherine Backstrom. Okay, and I made some comments earlier this morning when I shared the original post, but I wanted to follow up and kind of explore a little bit more. And so I'm going to read what she wrote, and then we're going to unpack this. Now, before I read that, though, I want you to know that there is no judgment in me. I'm not saying that she's right or she's wrong or she's good or she's bad. That's not how I operate. I don't do fault, blame, guilt, shame. I look for patterns, and I look at how the patterns impact our lives, and are they supporting and taking us where we want to go, or are there other patterns that we could put in place, right? These are just strategies. We have a way to get to a certain result, and a strategy will get us there, and if it's not working, okay, so when would now be a good time to change the strategy, right? So with that in mind, I shall read, and then we'll come back. So it's a picture of her smiling. This is the face of anxiety and depression. I can laugh with bright eyes, I can crack the best jokes at social functions, I can socialize and be the life of the party and make new friends and leave good impressions. I can do all of that and make it look easy, but honestly, when it comes down to it, I'm just a duck. To everyone above the water, I appear cool and calm and collected. I've got my duck little life put together, but the truth is, I am paddling like crazy just below the surface. Just out of sight, I am wondering if the laugh was a little too loud. If that joke made me look like an idiot. I'm wondering if all the people I talked to at the party were rolling their eyes as soon as I walked away. Above the surface, I've got it together. Below the surface, I'm completely frenetic. This is the face of anxiety and depression. If I wanted to impress a crowd, I could quote my publications. I could tout the size of my following or the fact that I have a book deal and an incredible literary agent. If I wanted to impress the crowd, I could. But if I was being honest and vulnerable, I would admit that imposter syndrome keeps me hostage. I'm certain that any day now, my followers, my publisher, and my agent will wake up and realize what fools they were for ever believing in me. This is the face of anxiety and depression. At home, my children are laughing, my husband is eating a hot dinner, and the floor is tidy and clean. In my heart, I'm full of doubt. I wonder how this man could ever love me, and the guilt of having a cleaning lady makes me feel like a pathetic human being. Actually, that's really intelligent. Sidebar. I smile and I laugh and I write funny stories. My children are well adjusted and my career is on a positive trajectory. But just below the surface, right beneath the surface, hidden right before your eyes, is someone desperately trying to stay afloat. Trust me when I say you never know the quiet battles that other people are fighting. You would never guess which of your successful, good-looking, wealthy, lucky, or well-educated friends are secretly struggling with a dark and aching hurt. Anxiety and depression hide just below the water, just out of sight, and their victims look like just about anybody. Your doctor, your sister, your favorite blogger, your pastor, your spouse. So treat everyone delicately. So treat one another delicately, my friends. Be loving, understanding, and kind. You never know which one of us is desperately kicking beneath the surface. And then she's got a link in the post if you want to get her new book. You can do that. I have that in my post. I'm not obviously sharing it here because it's all URL code. But so that right there, that's like a really honest self-assessment. The challenge is, okay, I got these things and I'm struggling. Where are you struggling to, right? A duck kicking feet underwater is a great metaphor. Where's the duck going? Where's our compelling future? Where are we trying to get to? See, a lot of people are stuck and they're struggling and they feel like they're treading water. Okay, good. You're not drowning. That's good. Good. You're treading water. Where are you treading water towards? What do you mean? Well, if you just tread water, you're not going anywhere. You got to swim. So where are you trying to swim to? Where is the destination you're trying to get to? And if you don't have that, how long can you tread water? That's a really simple answer. You can tread until you drown, because eventually you will fatigue because you're going nowhere. Right? I talked about this earlier in the lives I've been doing this whole series. I talked about why is a horrible question. Why am I feeling anxious? Why do I feel depressed? Why is not a great question to ask, because why tends to spin and keep us stuck in our story. What do we want? How do we get there? What's and hows are always a more powerful question, a more powerful way to focus. Right? And I've talked about, I've got clients that have been in therapy for decades, and they understand what's going on and how it happened and how things should be different, but they don't understand what to do differently. See, it's not enough just to say I have this problem. Okay, great. What are you going to do with it, right? She even said down here, struggling with a dark and aching hurt, right? So what is the hurt? Where did it come from? What can we do to heal it? These are going to give you much more powerful answers versus why do I feel this way? Why am I struggling? What's wrong with me, right? In my heart, I'm full of doubt. I wonder how this man could ever love me. And the guilt of having a cleaning lady makes me feel like a pathetic human being. Well, given that you've got a lot going on and you're fairly busy in your life, having a cleaning lady seems very, very smart and a good use of your resources so that you're not putting that mental and emotional load into that particular activity. And as a business person, your time is worth more. So if you can hire a cleaning lady to do the work that you would do, but she can do it faster, more professional, at a higher standard, easier, and that's her job, why wouldn't you hire her so that you can now have the time free to go do more income production activities or connecting with your family or other high value? Because the money you're paying her versus the time you're buying back, that's just efficiency and intelligence, isn't it? So why feel guilty about that and go, man, I could be grateful for that and be so excited because I've got this opportunity to do something with my time and my energy, and I'm paying someone to do a job. I'm adding value to the world around me as well. It's a win-win. So what is there to feel like guilty about or to feel, struggling and I feel guilty and I'm pathetic? Why? Because you can't do everything? That's fine. That's realistic. There's only 168 hours a week and you can only use so many of them. You got to sleep at some point. Hey Jackson, thanks for tuning in. So this idea of anxiety and depression, right? Let's walk that back for a second. Anxiety is feeling anxious, right? Anxiety is the nominalization. It's the nouning of a verb, of a changeable process. Having anxiety, feeling anxious, those change. The feeling creates energy and momentum and creates, it's the verb, right? The verb, the adverb. I'm feeling this thing means I am something other. I happen before the feeling. I am feeling. When I say I have anxiety or I'm anxious, those become identity statements, right? They become things you possess versus I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling unstable. I'm trying to get ahead of everything that could possibly go wrong and have an answer before it could ever even show up so that I know exactly what to do in every single circumstance, in every single situation in my life. And I can't imagine why I'm exhausted when I'm thinking like this all the time. Dude, breathe. Anxiety, feeling anxious, is a pattern living in the future. And we're trying to wrap our minds around every possible permutation of what could go wrong and have an answer in advance, which is impossible. And so we just spin up all of our resources and the feeling of alarm gets exploded in our body. And we're in this fight or flight, adrenaline dump, panic. I got to handle everything. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I got to be ready for it. Breathe. Slow down. Be here. Depression, on the other hand, is in the past. And it's inward. When we're depressed, we're connecting to ourselves. Because connecting to the outside world isn't working. Connecting to other people isn't working. Connecting in the way that we want isn't working. So I can't go outward, so I'm going to go inward. And the future, why even bother? Who even cares? I don't even deserve to have a future. I'm so worthless and I'm so useless and I'm so... But how do you know you're so worthless and so pathetic and so... Because of stuff that happened back then. When the truth is, you're not that person anymore. Right? There's an old saying in Buddhism, you can't step in the river twice because the water's flowing. When you step in the water's moving. Take your foot out, step back in again. The water's different. You're different. Every single moment. We are a human becoming. We are priceless works of art in transition constantly. And that's a beautiful thing because the past doesn't hold us unless we hold on to it. Right? As a martial arts instructor, when I teach self-defense, when you grab someone, guess who else you're grabbing? Yourself. Because the hand that grabs can't do anything else. You can't punch with it while you're still holding on. You got to let go to be able to punch. We have to open up to transform. So she wrote this. This is beautiful. But on a certain level, this is navel gazing. I'm looking at my belly button. Okay. So this is where you are. Cool. Where do you want to be? What would be exciting for you to have as a future? What would you want to live and love and experience and breathe and feel every single day different than this current reality? Get clear on that. So once you have something to guide towards, you have something that excites you and pulls you. You can't push a rope. So if you have to push yourself towards your goals, make your goals more exciting. Make them more powerful and more meaningful. So we got to get there. There's a pathway. Where are you? Where do you want to be? And how do we cross the gap? And I do these roadmap calls to deal with that. How do we handle the rejection and the overwhelm and the anxiety and the disrespect? I don't say depression, I say disrespect. Because you're disrespecting yourself, you're disrespecting others. But what is disrespect? Well, respect is when I show that I care, doing things and treating things with positive energy. So how can we make sure we're treating ourselves and treating others with positive energy? So this is the game. This is how we start to change the conversation. Not to make anxiety or depression wrong, because they're not. They're a way to get our needs met. Needs for certainty, needs for variety, needs for connection, needs for love, needs for significance, needs for growth, needs for contribution. It's okay. You can have your needs, but there's lots of vehicles to meet your needs. You could meet your needs in a way that lights you up and delights you and the people around you. As I read this morning, the first thing that popped to my mind, this is a person who does not have an internal sense of control. It's external. Well, I can do these things, but these people might judge me. Why do you care? If you're around the type of people that are going to judge you for your jokes, are they even people you want to have as friends? Are they even people that should be in your social network? Why is it something has to be wrong with you? What if something's wrong with them? What if you're amazing and you're just not around the right people yet? What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if that's just a BS, a belief system you've picked up somewhere? Somebody made you feel wrong and you took that on. You trusted their judgment of you more than your own judgment of you. It doesn't have to stay that way. This can pivot, this can change quickly. Sometimes as little as one conversation, an entire life can pivot and move in a whole new direction. This kind of stuff, the anxiety, the depression, the judgment, the fear, the doubt, fault, blame, guilt, shame, all that can be integrated and released. You don't have to live like this. Even if there's some biology that's kind of pushing you this direction or makes these thoughts show up a little bit easier, a little bit more often, they can still be addressed. If you have any level of conscious control, we can begin to rewire some of that stuff internally. We can change those belief systems with the right frames of reference and the right leverage. So if you're struggling, you do not have to struggle with this. Yesterday, a friend of mine posted something about his life and how much better things are, but he still wrestles with his demons. I'm like, I get the metaphor, but it's not a good one. Because it prolongs the conversation, right? I struggle with my demons. I wrestle with my demons versus I resolve my demons. Turn them into cats instead of demons. Put the monster to sleep. I understood why it was there, what it was telling me, and now that I know, I don't need to fear anymore. I don't need to let that control. Hey Jake, thanks for tuning in. Hey Dano, thanks for tuning in. I'm actually just about to wrap up. This was a good one. So you guys want to make sure you watch the whole entire thing. I'm going to tag some people and share this out. I know a lot of people that are struggling in their mental and emotional world, and you don't have to. Let's get some time. Let's do a roadmap call. Let's analyze kind of where are you at. Let's do a roadside rescue, and where are you dealing with rejection and overwhelm and anxiety and disrespectful behavior. And let's figure that out, and then let's put a plan in place to resolve it quickly. This is my specialty. I've got 27 years. I'm a freaking genius at unpacking patterns and shifting modalities and meanings. Put me to work for you, and let's get this resolved. It doesn't take years of therapy. It doesn't take decades of discovery. The right leverage, the right tools, things can be resolved quickly and easily. Sometimes, again, as little as one conversation can change your whole world. So get on a roadmap call with me. If you're tired of the overwhelm, if you're ready to invest and actually get resolution, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're sick of the overwhelm, the feelings of anxiousness, the disrespectful behavior, the arguments, the yelling, the judgment, the fear, the recrimination, all that crap. If you're tired of the tension, let's get on a call and let's get this fixed. It doesn't, not fixed because it's broken. Let's just get it resolved and aligned. There's nothing broken. Unless you got body parts sticking out, you ain't broken. You're just running bad code on a computer. The computer will crash every time, not because there's anything wrong. It's just the instructions don't make any sense. So we fix the instructions, everything gets easier. I guarantee you can make things better. So get on a roadmap call with me.